Hello, sexy people. Thanks for tuning into my channel. Today we are on tutorial number 4 on how to make a beautiful resin placemat. And today's topic of discussion is children are a blessing. Now let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so one of my mom's friends, I'm just going to say her name is Teresa. Okay, one of my mom's friends named Teresa had custody of these 3 beautiful young girls. Okay, their biological parents are still alive, but the father was in prison for a while and the mother had a drug problem. So Teresa became the foster parent to these young girls. And at that time, the youngest one was less than a year old and the oldest one was about 4 or 5 years old. When they came to Teresa's doorstep, they were in bad shape. Like their clothes were dirty, their hair was full of lice, they had, bad teeth. They wasn't well taken care of at all. But all of that immediately changed when Teresa took them in. Like she took care of them girls like she gave birth to them. She made sure that they had the best health care possible. They had clothes and shoes galore. They had everything they needed and most of what they wanted. When I tell you that she loved these little girls, she loved them. So naturally, Teresa's family is the family that the girls grew accustomed to. The entire family was crazy about these girls, and Teresa wanted to adopt them since day one. Now, fast forward a couple of years later, the biological father of these girls is still in prison, and according to Teresa, he was involved in several criminal activities, one including sex trafficking. So anyway, the biological father wanted his aunt to get custody of all 3 of these girls. So when the caseworker informed Teresa of this, she immediately became worried and scared, and for good reason, because she knew that if these girls was taken from her and given to the aunt of the biological father, there was a huge possibility that once the father got released from prison, he would take these girls and have them involved in sex trafficking. So nonetheless, the day came when Teresa had to meet the aunt and the aunt had to meet the girls. Now, according to Teresa, it wasn't a blissful visit at all. For starters, this aunt had an attitude with Teresa and didn't take to the girls, and the girls didn't really take to her. So much so that she made one of the girls cry because of how harsh she was talking to the little girl. So, but Teresa kept her cool and did what the court required her to do. Now, of course, when you're a foster parent, you get a check for each child. But Teresa didn't care about any of that. She didn't care about the money. She loved these kids with every fiber of her being and wanted to adopt them. She didn't care about the money. But anyway, the court forced the girls to spend some weekends with the aunt. And on one of the visits, the girls started crying because they didn't want to go. And the aunt looked at them and said, "I don't see why y'all crying. Y'all knew y'all was going to have to leave." Just real insensitive and nasty for no reason. And the caseworker was there to witness shit like this. But the caseworker would talk to Teresa and tell her to just hold on, be patient. I'm going to try my best to see that these kids remain in your care. Okay, so this was a constant battle. And it went on for a while until the dreadful day came when the aunt was given custody of the kids. Teresa was so heartbroken that she went into a very deep depression. But see, let me tell you how good God is, though. Just when you think that you're defeated, that's when God shows up and show you just how powerful he is. God was working behind the scene on Teresa's behalf, and she didn't even know it. Now, I'm not wishing death on anybody, but in less than a year, the aunt had to give them kids right back to Teresa because the aunt's husband died and then her mother died. And financially, she realized she wasn't going to get as much money as she thought she was going to get for them kids. And so she gave the kids right back. Soon after that, Teresa was presented with the opportunity to finally adopt all 3 of these girls, something that she had been wanting to do since day one. So now they're permanently her kids. They permanently belong to her, and no one can take them from her anymore. They are right where they need to be and back to the life that they were accustomed to. Now, this is not something that's a fake story. Like this really happened, and I just recently got the news from my mom that Teresa finally got custody of these kids. So I'm not making this story up. Okay, but I will tell you there is a moral to this. Okay, and the moral of the story is this: if you are a foster parent or planning to become one, don't do what this aunt did. Okay, her heart wasn't in it. Her heart was not in it. If you are a foster parent, your long-term goal should be to adopt that child when presented with the opportunity and give them a loving home. They need you. Don't be returning them as if they're a pair of pants that you're returning to the store. And that's exactly what this aunt did. And she know damn well she didn't want them kids. And that's not right to treat them like that. They're human. Some of these kids come from some horrible backgrounds, and the last thing they need is to be presented with some more bullshit. They didn't choose this life. This life was chosen for them. Most of the time when they are placed in another home, they scared, confused, and don't even know what to expect. They don't need people, fake people, coming into their life to do them harm. They need people that are willing to surround them in nothing but love, affection, and your time. Okay, and I hope that one day I become a foster parent, because as it stands right now, I don't have any kids, and I'm 43 years old, and I don't think, as far as me being at the age that I'm at, that I want to have any kids naturally, because first of all, a lot of women don't have high tolerance for pain, and I am one of them. Okay, and this is 2021, year 2021. And they have yet to come out with a great, excellent medicine that can kind of get you comatose and you won't feel no pain. So I'm like, yeah, the whole thing of having kids naturally and having them come out of me, I don't think I want to deal with that, because I know me, I can't really deal with pain like that. So no. But I do want to have a child. So, there's some things I've been thinking about, and I have been thinking about being not necessarily a foster parent, because fostering a child is something that's temporary. I want to be able to adopt a child. I really do. If God says, look, you're going to have a child come out your hoo-ha, then so be it. But either way, I do want one. So we'll see how that goes. But you can best believe, whether it's coming from me, from my loins, or I'm adopting a child, I'm going to make sure that child is well taken care of. You can best believe that. I'm going to give that child structure, love, tenderness, and everything I can possibly give that baby. Anyway, let's get into these crafts here. As you can see, I made my flower. Now, somebody on TikTok was asking, can I make a resin placemat that looks like a flower? And I told them yes. So that's what I'm doing here. And, with a flower, it doesn't have to be, the petals doesn't have to be perfect. They don't have to be precise, because normally flowers are not perfect. They come in the shape they come in, but at either rate, they're beautiful, So I'm just kind of shaping it up a little bit with the edge of this paintbrush. Putting a little bit of yellow in there. And I've never seen a flower with yellow, pink, and blue on it, but I'm just weird like that. I love, to make things different a little bit. And I love bright colors. So now, several hours later, you want it to wait, and then just let it sit, and then you're going to add your last layer. And with this last layer, I want to jazz up this flower a little bit. So I wanted to add a background to the flower. So what I did was I took my resin and I put some gold glitter in it. And now I'm mixing it up. Mixing it up rather nicely. And then we're going to go ahead. Look how beautiful that glitter is in that resin. Isn't that pretty? We're going to go ahead and spread it on, baby. And when I tell you to see this resin placemat in person, it's just amazing. So this is what it looked like with the gold glitter background. And now we have taken it out of the mold. And I'm outside, and the reason why I'm outside is because I want you to see it sparkle in the sunlight. And see how that background comes through on that flower? It's just so pretty. I want you to make your own. I want you to make your own. I hope you guys like it. And be sticking around for tutorial number 5, because that'll be coming in a couple of days, okay? So enjoy. I hope that you like it. Make your own. God, that is so pretty. I think I'm going to give that to my mom. Yeah, I think that's exactly what I'm going to do. And look how those petals came out. That was really nice. I want you to give it a try too.